Culture and Color.
Jason and Corey.
Jason J and Doris.
Sultana and Susu.
Thelma Lawson and Faith.
Nullify nominations.
Just like that, guys, Head of House Rooboy nullified nominations and evictions for the week. But Big Brother was not done.
Every lapse will have consequences. If you truly want more, ensure you prove it. We are done here.
Let me tell you a story. Stay with me. Story. Once upon a time, there was a land called Big Brother Naija House that had 22 housemates. And these housemates were led by a guy called Rooboy. And those housemates were preparing for a party. But it's not the kind of party that you know. This kind of party is a party that would see some of them leave that land called Big Brother Naija. And so these guys were preparing for the party, thinking that the God that sees everything in that land would actually play according to the cards that they were used to. Little did they know that this God was going to pass through another dimension or pass through another route to get to them when it comes to this party. And so these guys decided to get ready for the party. But lo and behold, when they got to the party ground, guys, they were shocked at what they saw. And here is what they saw. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of This Is Quick One, talking the Big Brother Naija show season 10. 10 over 10, no zero, no minus, 10 over love, 10 over drama, and everything in between. Grassroots confusion, you name it. Tonight, guys, it is official. There is no eviction, or there will be no evictions this Sunday. But there will be severe consequences for certain housemates who have decided to be very stubborn and become very erring when it comes to the Big Brother Naija show season 10. So what actually happened? Why is it that we don't have evictions on Sunday? So, guys, we all know that on Monday, usually, we would have the housemates prepare for nominations, and then for the past 2 weeks we've had the same style of nominations. These housemates will come into the house after staying in the garden, and then they will look for cards and everything. But today Big Brother was like, even though you think that you know what is going to happen, I'm going to shock you. So these housemates sat down, and when it was time for the live nomination show, right, he tells them that they'll be coming into the diary room one after the other to nominate 2 housemates for possible eviction. So he starts calling all these housemates one by one. And while everybody was giving their nominations, I think I was shocked by 1 or 2. I was shocked by Kola's nomination because he mentioned Doris. And I used to think that Doris, like he and Doris are cool, but apparently they are not. Another person that actually shocked me would be, I think, a bit of Tracy. When she mentioned Emisi, I was like, ah. And then I think that Kola also kind of like surprised me, but I was not so surprised when he mentioned Jason J. Apparently for him, Jason J is his competitor when it comes to getting Dede's attention, because Kola has just stressed me when it comes to Dede, and I really do not want to talk about that. Let's focus on the nominations. I was not surprised by the likes of Big Soso. She called Dede. Apparently, of course, of all people, that was the only person that called Dede when it comes to the nomination for tonight, right? She was the only one that called Dede, and then she also nominated Ivata. Then we also had Dede returning the favor. She also nominated Big Soso based on the fact that, you know, they are not cool. I would not say I was surprised, but I thought that these guys were cool. That's Zita and Mide. They nominated each other, and I was like, since the fight that they had, of course, I'm not surprised that, you know, that is actually happening when it comes to them. And then every other person took their turns to nominate. Emisi, on the other hand, comes into the diary room, and then she's nominating Rooboy, who is apparently the head of house.
Rooboy.
Rooboy is your head of house.
Faith and Zita.
I think that because you know that Rooboy and Emisi are not cool, that's the reason that she nominated Rooboy, but unfortunately she could not. But when it comes to Rooboy having his time to nominate somebody, he nominated Emisi and Isabella, and that's because, you know, they've had like a back and forth, and he's not cool with these guys. So they were all done with their nominations, and I was calculating because the names that were called were Thelma Lawson, we had Faith, there was also Ivata, and then Zita. Zita's name was mentioned a lot. I was like, this girl is going home. So Big Brother calls these guys to stand up. And before he continues, he says, Rooboy, go to the tree of trinkets and pick one of the trinkets there. Whatever you read will determine the things that will happen in the house, right? And then he says, remember that whatever you pick would not affect the house snail, which I'm trying to hold on to because that part. So Rooboy goes to the tree of trinkets and picks one trinket. And when he reads it, he reads, nullify all nominations.
Head of house, Rooboy.
Yes, Big Brother.
You have drawn the power to nullify nominations.
And that was how these housemates were safe for 1 week, guys. It felt like it. I was like, wait, I don't understand. So Big Brother was like, for clarity's sake, guys, nobody is going home, or there will be no evictions this Sunday because the nomination show has been cancelled because your head of house has saved all of you. And then everybody was smiling and they were happy. But I remember that Big Brother says that whatever Rooboy reads does not affect the house nail. Does this now mean that the house nail will be going home? But since he said that nominations have been cancelled, let's see how it goes. So everybody was happy, everybody was jubilating, and they were like, oh, thank God and everything. Little did they know that Big Brother was coming for them again. So when he was done with that, he says, everybody sit down. Sultana went upstairs to ease herself, and before she went, I could see that Doris was telling her, don't go upstairs, don't go upstairs. So Big Brother now says that in as much as there are no nominations, that he notices that there are certain things that are being done wrong in the house, especially when it comes to the microphone infringement. And for all those who are very used to or who are conversant with the Big Brother Naija show, you know that once you have like 3 microphone infringements, or according to this particular rule book that they have for the season, once you have 3 microphone infringements, right, you will get a strike. And once you get a strike, 3 strikes, you're out of the game. So Big Brother was like, he has noticed that sometimes people do not take care of their microphones. People pour water on their microphones. I talked about this on Thursday. Remember the Thursday pool party? One of my videos, I said, Rooboy and Bright, they were pouring water on people. These guys were dancing with their microphones on. You were pouring water on them. It was actually very, very wrong of you to have done that. So Big Brother was like, you guys are pouring water on the microphone. You're not taking care of your microphone. Some of you are intentionally not wearing your microphone. I remember Sultana. Sultana on Thursday, after the Thursday pool party, Big Brother said, Sultana, your microphone. Somebody even told her before Big Brother even spoke. She refused to wear the mic. She kept on talking and talking and talking without the microphone. And that was how Big Brother gave her a microphone infringement. So these guys have been doing 1 or 2 things that would have made Big Brother to be angry. At some point, even I was like, what is wrong with you guys? Why is it that you guys are not paying attention to the fact that you have to wear your microphones? So Big Brother now calls certain names. He first of all calls Kola, and I was like, yes! The reason I said yes is because sometimes Kola stresses me, guys.
Kola. On your feet.
Kola stresses me when it comes to use of microphone, because sometimes when he's talking, we're hearing, I was telling Diddy, you know, I'm not really going to be like that. Kola, will you open your mouth, please? If you're going to speak, please, can you just open your mouth, please? I usually say that. So when he called Kola, Kola was shocked. But I love that he was the first person that was called, because this guy, I strain my ears to hear what he says. Big Brother calls Kola and also calls Rooboy, which was well deserved. Whether or not you're the head of house, you deserve to be punished for what you did on Thursday. He calls Brett Morgan, he calls Mensan, he calls Isabella, he calls Doris, he calls Sultana. Now, Sultana was nowhere to be found. She was upstairs. Big Brother counted to 5. This girl didn't come downstairs.
Sultana, you have 5 seconds. 5.
No worries. He also calls Thelma Lawson and says, all of you have been found guilty of, doing 1 or 2 things when it comes to the use of your microphones, and you guys will be punished in due time. And he says, in as much as all of you will be punished, you, Sultana, for your tardiness, for going upstairs while we are still having nominations and not coming down on time, your own punishment will be double. And he was like, I am just angry with all of you. So while I even thought that Big Brother was done, right, he was not done. He goes on to talk about their prize money. Now remember, I explained everything about the prize pots and the prize money in one of my videos. Please go back and watch it, where I broke down how these housemates are going to be putting in money till the end of the show. Like, everybody's contributing money for the winner. So every week Big Brother has been adding money and been adding money. As at last week Monday, he said the current prize money that they have, that probably if the show ends right now, that's what the winner will be going on with, is 25 million naira. So he comes and says, when it comes to task, you guys have been misbehaving. You guys have not putting your best, which is true. Especially when it comes to the wager. The wager, they were just, I don't know, they were not giving in energy. They were not practicing. As at Thursday, they were like, oh, Friday, we'll find a way. They were being a bit of lackadaisical about it. So Big Brother was like, when it comes to certain tasks, you guys are not enthusiastic. When it comes to your performance this week, you guys did not really give. And so I am adding nothing. He didn't even say 100K. Big Brother did not even say 20 naira. He didn't even say, probably even kobo. He said, I'm adding nothing to your current prize money. So as at now, as it stands right now, these housemates have 25 million naira cash as the prize money available. If they fail to impress Big Brother at the end of this week, by Monday they will still have 25 million naira. So as opposed to the 80 million naira cash that the winner is supposed to go home with at the end of the season, they might be going home with much lesser than 80 million naira if they continue in their tardiness, if they continue in their I don't care attitude, if they continue to come late to the diary room, if they continue to not pay attention to their task, if they continue not to be active when it comes to task, if they continue not to pay attention to the instructions. If it says leave the arena, leave. If it says come downstairs, come downstairs. If it says leave the party now, leave. All these kind of things. If they fail to listen to Big Brother, he will keep on reducing their money. And he was like, you know what? I'm done here. Big Brother was angry. Guys, Big Brother, not even words, is angry. Now, people like Mensan, who already has immunity, he doesn't count for anything because apparently right now, he's not going over as well as every other person. And then Rooboy, who is like the head of house, will be serving punishments as a head of house. Very interesting to see. Now, after the nomination show was over, I was hearing the likes of Faith speak. And I was like, I do not understand, guy. He kept on saying, oh, his enemies are a lot, that for all the people that were asked to stand up when it comes to the nominations, right? He was the only guy that stood up. So it's very apparent that people do not like him in the house. And I was like, Baba, you came to play a game. People are not supposed to like you. Just the way you nominated people also nominated you, and that's all fair when it comes to the game. So they had to go back to, preparing for their wager because they were like, oh, because of how Big Brother has spoken to them, they have to like tighten their shoelaces. So they were sitting there. Next thing I'm seeing Thelma talking to him and saying, it's okay, because Faith kept on saying, oh, my enemies. I'm in my team. I'm in a team of enemies. I'm in a team where my enemies are a lot. And people were like, it's okay.
Talk normally. If you don't speak normally, I'm not going to listen to what you're saying.
It just means that somebody nominated you more than another person nominated you. Every single person you nominated people too. And you can't help it. You understand? Shouting, we're not making our business.
Which is Faith went on and they were like, see, please, I beg. Now the other team were actually talking about the fact that, Rooboy poured water on them when it comes to the party. They were talking about the fact that sometimes they actually do misbehave when it comes to the house and they will try to do better. So they were apologizing to Big Brother, but I would say that it's too late to actually apologize. Their punishments will come in due time, as well as, they losing their money. I do not now know if Big Brother is going to issue them a strike. I think that he was going to issue them a strike for all those who he called. He would have issued them immediately. However, let's just see how it goes. So guys, once again, there will be no evictions on Sunday. Everybody is safe, so everybody can actually chillax. Everybody can relax and still enjoy the show because nobody is going home. However, nothing is promised. Keep your fingers crossed and your eyes on the show. Till next time, I got you with more right here on this channel. Remember to enjoy every moment. Mwah! Bye.